The challenge of life I have found is to build a resume that doesn't simply tell a story about what you want to be, but it's a story about who you want to be. Oprah Winfrey once said. Oprah Winfrey once said, again, the challenge of life I have found is to build a resume that doesn't simply tell a story about what you want to be, but it's a story about who you want to be. So right now, this moment, well, actually not right now, but, let's eliminate the but and let's make it about the right now. Let's embrace that challenge of life that Oprah talked about by telling a story about who you want to be. Telling a story about who you want to be. Perhaps you will attempt, better yet, perhaps you will tell your story on a certain social media platform. Perhaps you will accept the challenge to tell your story about who you want to be by means of some blogging platform. Perhaps you will partner with others and share your story with others as they share their stories. The beautiful thing about the power of the internet, we all have access to a variety of tools to tell the story about who we want to be. But let's go beyond just who we want to be. Let's become that person. Let's take that challenge beyond the resume. I challenge you to not only tell the story about who you want to be on some platform, on or offline, to do it in the right now. You may say, Alfred, I'm listening to this podcast in a place where I can't really begin telling my story. I can understand that. A lot of my best ideas come when I'm at my regular job. I can't really pause to jot down things, but however, I have learned the process of continuing to feed my mind on those things. You know, we at times find ourselves daydreaming, get lost in the dream for a split second, related to your story. When we go fill out that job application or take time to update a resume or even to create a resume for for employment opportunity, are we not telling a story about who we want to be in that place? When we enter in some type of relationship, is not the conversation related to the story of who we want to be? We're diving into the right now, but not right now, in the context that we're beginning, in the beginning phases of developing the story about who we want to be. Though we actually are not that person, or perhaps not in that place yet. Keyword is yet. No negative there, because we are on a journey to, we're moving forward, away from. Like one quote said, the past we see in our rear view. The future we see in front of us. Whether it's coming at us in moments or minutes or hours or days, months, the future's still coming. So I challenge you, like I challenge myself, to do a podcast episode per week towards the end of the year. This is the very first of those episodes. Telling the story of who I want to be at year's end. A podcaster with followers greater number of followers, greater number of subscribers, podcaster whose podcast life is about more than living is heard on more platforms. Podcast whose podcast is actually generating levels of revenue from advertisers or people in the context of those who I give shout outs to. And all you have to do is hit me up, message me. We can go from there about giving your business a shout out, giving your social media platform a shout out, and I will show you how to make payment for such. Yeah, I'll give you a shout out. Since I'm doing this challenge, $30 for 3 shout outs on a variety of at least 3 platforms. $30 US. Right there. Creating the story who I want to be a better monetized podcaster, for a better choice of words. So if you're hearing this, well, right now, but actually not right now, I'm not generating those types of revenues for shout outs, but I'm claiming it in my future. Because I know some of you, my listeners, will love to have what you're doing in social media or love to have their business shouted out. I meet people all the time that's looking for different ways to get the word out about what they're doing. Even now this week, I've launched a new meetup group, More Than Poets. More Than Poets. So this has been an interesting week into October. Highlight being recording this episode right now. Well, actually, not right now, but eliminating the but, because the but is now the reality. I've accepted the challenge of life presented by Oprah. In that quote, to tell the story of who I want to be. Your podcast for a greater notoriety. A well-known self-published author, which is coming, working on the book process. These things associated with who I am, but they do not define me. But I am defined by my passion to share words of encouragement. I am defined in part by my passion to reach out to you, my listening audience. To encourage you to step into right now, well, not actually right now, but the next moment of your life. Well, right now, not actually, not right now, but who's in a better position to tell your story, who you want to be than you are? Tell your story. Tell your story of who you want to be and then become that person. Do not, I've heard it said often, and you perhaps have heard it said often, that other people's opinion of us do not define us. With the power of social media, people are being pushed in certain corners because they share some of their story and they get negative feedback. Don't let the negative feedback stop you. The harmful criticism stop you. The bravest people hide behind a computer screen of some sort. They step in there right now, but not to build up, but to tear down. Not to encourage and to nurture, but to destroy, because their lives, I believe, are miserable. It's your story. Tell your story of who you want to be. I'm in your corner. I walk the walk with you. If you listen to any of my podcast episodes and other ones, I keep it kind of raw and to the point. I went there on the Black Men Mental Health. Tied it in with my very first episode, Preconditioned to Fail. I know what it's like to have your hopes and your dreams squished by negativity. I know what it's like to rise up and find myself trying to please everyone, losing myself therein. I know what it's like to step into my right now, only to fall back and let that past I see in my rear view overtake my future. I'm with y'all in the right now. Let's create that story of who you want to be in the right now.